further, yeah, so recording is on, perfect. So without the further talking from my side, I would like to welcome our speakers today. We will be joined by two brilliant speakers. The first one is Mr. Ahmad Alar. I'm sorry for the pronunciation, from the Department of Environmental Economics and Sustainability. And our second guest is Dr. Mariann Szabó. So welcome everyone. And we will start with the presentation of Mr. Alarach. So it's your floor.
Thank you so much, Jordana, for today. Let me share my screen. I think so, yes. Yeah. Give me a moment.
So now we can see your screen, and now it is in
Full
presentation
screen and
mode.
full screen, right?
Now in the presentation mode, so perfect. Floor is yours.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Ahmed Al-Araj. I am from the Budapest University of Technology and Economics. I'm a PhD student there in Department of Environmental Economic and Sustainability. Today we are going to talk about the urban regeneration and the connection of urban regeneration with circular economy principle and how can we have urban regeneration practices through circular economy strategies. At the beginning, there was a question. I think did we put the question or not yet?
No, but I'm opening it.
Yes, so for the participants, a little small poll will appear on your screen. You will be able to vote. So please prepare your mouse and choose your option. Now you can see it on the screen. So the question is that in Europe today, the construction sector is responsible for roughly what share of the continent's total greenhouse gas emissions? Choose your choice. It can be a guess. It's up to you. And please also press the blue buttons called submit. So we will be able to see your answers, and then those answers will be shared on the screen.
Exactly.
4 seconds for voting and choosing the options. And we will share the results on the screen, so all of us will be able to see.
Okay, so there's no more answers coming.
Okay, so Ahmad, do you have some interpretation on the
Yes, perfect. I think most of you guys, you answered the correct answer here is 36% is correct. So whenever we were talking about the emissions of circular economy, it's around 36% in Europe actually is coming because of construction sector. So it's a huge amount of emissions, and actually it's happening because of the current linear construction model, because of the linear economic model, which is basically take, use raw materials, make, manufacture it, and dispose waste, which is the main driver of our climate problems. And it can be something like climate disruption, biodiversity loss, and pollution. So worldwide, there's a need of around 1 billion houses by 2025, which is in a cost of around 9 to 11 trillion US dollars, which is around roughly 650 billion per year. So there is a huge amount of houses needed for community these days. And for sure, there is a negative impact to the environment because of building this amount of new houses. So this kind of impact can be reduced using circular economy strategies, such as eliminate waste and pollution, circulate products and material, and regenerate nature. And the importance of circular economy strategies has been rising through the past 10 years to provide solution to gradually decouple from economic activities from its negative impact. We need to decouple the idea of economic growth with the negative impact to the environment because of this economic growth. So there was a report by Ellen MacArthur Foundation demonstrate that set of circular economy strategies can actually unlock of around 575 billion euros of annual revenue across the built environment value chain. And they can earn several hundred billion euros of wider economic benefits for businesses or municipalities or even citizens. So today, NiCE project exists to move circularity from niche to center. And we want to look on how strategic planning and designing and true stakeholder partnership can actually provide the value through urban regeneration. Although Europe is considered one of the high income region, but still they are consuming a huge amount of materials and emit a significant portion of greenhouse gases, which is around 16 tons of material are used in Europe per capita each year. 5.5 tons of this material is actually connected to the building construction, which is around one third of this amount is connected to the buildings construction. Especially now, the need of millions of new houses, as we already mentioned, to be created. But still, we have a lot of business, a lot of buildings, which is around 30 million buildings in need of renovation. So this is a good time actually to have a transformation to be in a much more circular economic principles to be used. But whenever we are adopting nature positive circular strategies, Europe can actually change these challenges, the huge amount, the huge need of renovation and building new houses. They can turn these challenges into opportunities whenever they boosting economic potential and improving citizen well-being for sure. We can notice here that around 90% of building, which means 9 out of 10 existing buildings are expected to still be standing by 2050 in Europe. So the way we treat these buildings, the existing stock, much more important than building these shiny new towers. So these buildings should be renovated in a way that material can be used without generating a huge amount of waste. And this can be done through integrating of circular economy techniques such as disassembly and assembly techniques. We are going to talk about it much more later on in the following slides. So we can integrate circular economy concepts into renovation practices, which can actually reduce waste of around 50%. And this can be done through similar ways. First of all, to understand what urban regeneration is, it means simply rewiring old spaces for a new life. We want to give the old places a new life, starting a new, fresh life. This can be done through, for example, brownfield revitalization. What do we mean by brownfield revitalization here? It refers to the process of redeveloping the already developed, previously developed site that has fallen into disuse or decay. So brownfield sites can be characterized by neglect or underuse and potential contamination and can require intervention to bring them back to beneficial use. Also, we have vacant conversions, which refer to the transformation of vacant, underutilized urban properties such as empty buildings or abandoned lots into new functional use. We want to use them in a good way. Instead of just tearing them down, we can actually give cities a fresh new start. So renovating all spaces can actually save resources, keep local history alive, and help prevent neighborhood from falling into neglect or decay. So it's a smart and sustainable way to make the most of what already we have. Also, we have green and blue networks. Basically, it's a green infrastructure and blue infrastructure. And through the planning, they should be interconnected. What do we mean by green infrastructure? It's basically vegetated areas, anything green, like parks, green roofs, street areas, street trees. Also, we have blue infrastructures, which is water bodies, lakes, ponds, wetlands, and they should be designed to work together to deliver ecological services to improve urban livability. For sure, these three, and we will mention more later on, they can have a triple win for circularity. First of all, we have climate mitigation and adaptation practices through land reuse and pollution cleanup. Also, we have nature restoration by reclaiming ecosystem and preventing sprawl. And for sure, economic regeneration, for especially for disadvantaged urban areas. We can see here in the photo in the right place, how does it look before, whenever it was, we have a brown field on the left side, contaminated area, left unused, and after that, we can see it's like green areas and it can be used by the community and they can have a better social being for the community living around the project. This project was in 2009, and later on we were going to mention a real case study in Europe regarding urban regeneration. So there was a study, there was a study in 2022. They wanted to propose, or they already proposed, a model for circular economy in urban regeneration. They called this model CERE, Circular Economy in Real Estate. This model basically have four phases. The first phase is to determine the circular economy concept. We need to choose which circular economy concept we are using in this project. Such concept can be resource efficiency, for example, to optimize operation and regeneration to improve the ecological system through renewable resources. Also, we have reduce to restrict resource flows, decelerate or slow to intensify the use and extend the useful life of the project, closing the loops, cooperation between supply chain actors, and digitalization as well to collect data and to optimize the processes. After we choose the CE concept, the circular economy concept, we need to choose as well the method and the tool to implement this kind of concept. These tools can involve adopting innovative technologies, material recycling, reverse logistics, and sustainable procurement practices to close the loop on the product life cycles. Now we chose the concept of the circular economy and we know the method and the tool we want to use. Later on, we need to choose how we can measure our circularity in this project. So the measurement of circularity it should actually fall under the developer responsibility. So we have different kind of measurements for circularity. One of them, for example, it was developed by German Sustainable Building Council. It's called DGMB CI. CI is for circular economy or circularity index, which can actually assess building for their circularity, enhanced material recyclability, and resource efficiency. Also, we have a global one called LEED. It's an American one. It's some kind of sustainable building assessment tool. Also, it measures the sustainability in buildings and projects through multiple categories and credits for each kind of category. We can have actually a full seminar talking about sustainable building assessment tools and how they can actually measure circularity and sustainability into the project. But for now, we can understand that the measurement of these circularities depends or fall under the responsibility of urban developer. Later on, we need to specify the business model we are using. We can use Sustainable Business Model Innovation at SBMI, which requires specific input. This can include defining the value creation process, identifying what stakeholders should be involved and their role in the project, and outlining the market opportunity for the business concept. So a successful circular business innovation can actually start with a design thinking. It's a smart way to solve problem by focusing on people better than just focusing on the economic value of this project. Since we are already talking about stakeholders here, stakeholders should be at the center of any project development. A successful urban regeneration scenarios are usually complex, so it requires a systematic perspective involving fundamental system-wide shift. We need to move more than just a project-centric view. Urban regeneration can actually flourish whenever communities work together, creating value through collaboration and partnership. So these kind of collaboration and understanding that stakeholders should all of them be involved in the decision making, either government and municipalities, or civil society and communities, academia or universities, or even industry itself. All of them should sit on one table and they should have a role in the decision making because each one of them they have their own ideas, they have their own interests, they have their own contribution to this project. So decision making can be done through the collaboration between all of these stakeholders. And scenario planning depends on joint value creation activities where stakeholders collaborate across organizational boundaries, system levels, can be like nationally, locally, and regionally as well. So these joint activities enable the creation of multidimensional value, going beyond just the economic benefits. It can include social, environmental, political, safety aspects that are important, as we mentioned, to different stakeholders and society. And to successfully improve cities and to create lasting benefits, it's important to work well.
Hola, buenas.
Y ahora entiendo lo del
Excuse me.
ganador, de lo del plan estratégico.
I think we
Sorry,
need
sir,
some.
you can
Yes.
repeat, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So again, to make sure to successfully have an improved cities and updated cities and regenerated cities, and we can create lasting benefits, it's important to work together with different stakeholders by building strong relationship and collaborating on different activities. So there was a report that was published by World Economic Forum, WEF, focus on six nature positive circular economy strategies to transform Europe's built environment. These strategies originally they were developed by Ellen MacArthur Foundation, and these strategies are not just ideas. They are already being successfully implemented across Europe, as we will see later on, because of the advances in digital and material technologies. They can cover the entire value chain and apply to multiple sectors, either commercial, residential, or even infrastructure. So they are revitalize the brownfields, as we mentioned, how we can characterize brownfield or how can we revitalize it, convert vacant commercial to housing, maximize urban tree canopies, expand green blue spaces, design for material efficiency, and for sure use low impact materials. These strategies can do more than just improve cities. They can actually create a future where economic growth and sustainability can actually work together. So whenever Europe is investing now, we can show the world that protecting the environment and having economic growth can actually go hand in hand. So as an example, in Europe of a successful project, urban regeneration project. This site is in Zurich, Switzerland. So the project was to regenerate of the Chance Oticon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly, site. And it's a previously industrialized area next to the lake of Zurich and is analyzed as an approach to brownfield redevelopment through the lens of circular economy principle. So the project uses its lakeside context because it's next to the lakeside, and they have a park that extend next to the lakeside with the network of mobility. We can see here. Let me turn on the pointer. We can see here the park on the left side photo. And this site has transitioned from a restricted industrial zone into a vibrant multi-use district, which falls under the initiative of Chance Oticon, where there was a stakeholder collaboration for this initiative between the municipality of Oticon and also the canton of Zurich. Canton is a administrative unit. So we can see here on the right side, the photo on the right side, the plan of the project here. Starting from the left, we can see here the community quarter. Next to it, we can see the community hub. Below it, we can see the park along the Zurich Lake. Next to it, we have the school canton, and next to it, we can see the harbor as well. We can see also on the left side photo as part of the harbor, I think, if it's shown here. So this project basically starting with the development of each part of this plan. For example, the residential area here. It should be developed with a specific focus on living concept based on several generations. So here is a good example of the assembly and disassembly technique, where you can actually have this residential quarter to live for hundreds of years, for example, and you can renovate it or having a new layout for this residential quarter every, for example, every 3 to 5 years, where you can actually disassemble and assemble parts of this residential quarter and building where you can change the using of the spaces, the utilization of the spaces in this residential quarter easily without actually generating a new waste. So we are using of whatever we have, and in this case, we can make sure that we have a long term or long period of time to use this kind of buildings. So here we are exploring the principle of circular economy of decelerate, slow, intensify the use of the building. Also, evaluate the potential to reuse building components and materials of the already existing building because it was already industrialized site. So we wanted to use as much as we can from the material that's already there in the site. In this case, we are closing the loop principle as well of circular economy. Another principle from circular economy can be actually integrated as well in this case. Also, they have security hub, community hub, circular community hub, where actually the community around it can use it, and it can force the social well-being through the community living in this project. Also, they are using the lake water for heating and cooling system. So in this case as well, they are reducing the emissions whenever they are using some technologies for heat exchanger, for example, to have the heating energy and the cooling energy through the lake. So we can conclude today that for circular urban regeneration, we have different phases. Starting with phase one, which is planning. We need to plan to build cities in a smarter way, compact, mixed use, where everybody is close to the public transportation, where they can actually reduce travel and lower infrastructure costs by up to 50%. Also, early planning will help us to have local composting or recycling hubs, where to ensure waste is managed efficiently from the beginning. The next phase, it can be designing, where, as we mentioned, the building can be designed to live for longer period of time, where can actually it can be flexible, we can deassemble and assemble part of it without generating any new waste. And also through the designing process, we need to choose the bio-based material, locally sourced material as well, and integrate it into the design. The third phase here is the making. We need to speed up the construction to and reduce waste. For example, we have prefabricated parts of the building can be built. Prefabricated here means that these parts of the building are actually being made outside of the construction site, outside of a project site, and they were already delivered to the site just to be fixed. Once I read about a Chinese redeveloper, and he actually built, I think, a 40-story building in around 19 days. Why? Because of prefabricated parts that were already made outside the construction site and that were ready to be fixed in the construction site. Also, we have another techniques. It could be 3D printing. Also, can cut waste and also reduce cost. Also, these building, whenever they are making it, they are having something called future material banks. As we mentioned, that some of the material in the building can be reused or repurposed for something else. Even later on, if they wanna use this material, they have a QR code for each material in the building that was already used and how you can use it for other purposes later on. The fourth one here is accessing. Accessing basically is enable home sharing. For example, we have a very famous platform, Airbnb, where you can rent, for example, a room in your flat as a part of home sharing schemes. Also, we have co-working models, a platform called WeWork as well, where you can rent part of your, let's say, restaurant in the daytime where you don't have enough customers, for example, and you can rent it for other businesses. Also, there's something called intergenerational home share schemes, where actually loneliness of old people can be mitigated through renting part of their houses, the old people, to young professionals, for example, or young people, where they can actually rent with affordable prices through this kind of scheme. There is a platform called Home Share International for this kind of schemes. Also, for the last but not least, operating and maintaining, which is to include technology and smart controls to optimize the processes and energy efficiency, for example, or water management. This can be done through IoT, which is Internet of Things, or any kind of technology that can do this. And also we have product as a service contract, which you can actually rent the carpet that you are using in your home. And whenever you are finished using it, after a while, you can return it back to the manufacturer as where he can actually remanufacture it or refurbish it again and use it again, where this for sure can reduce waste. So that's it for today. These are the resources. You can check them out, and any questions will be acceptable. Thank you so much. And there is a question as well as a poll. You can show it on the screen, please.
Yes, so thank you, Ahmed. Now, just for the participants, you will see the question again on your screen. Please choose your answers. This is a multiple choice, so you can choose more than one. And we will see the results on the screen afterwards.
Thank you.
We will wait a little bit for the voting. Still waiting. Few people still choosing their answers. I feel like we can share the results. Okay, so Ahmad, can you reflect?
Yes, that's perfectly good. Yes, actually, the third one expands suburban sprawl into peri-urban greenfield area is not one of the six strategies. So you guys, good job. You were focusing on the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much for setting the scene so clearly. And you really helped us to understand the scale of this topic. And now we should shift a little bit from those whys and hows to the where. So please, the floor is yours, Mariann. So now we will hear and see the presentation of Dr. Szabó. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Susanna. So firstly, I try to share my screen. Okay, hopefully I will succeed with it. Okay.
It's slowly loading, so you
Yeah,
will
and okay, and hopefully you will see the presentation mode.
Oh, unfortunately, no.
But it's in progress, probably.
Okay, I can try it again.
Yes, I can
Okay, now.
Still not in the presentation mode, but I feel like no worries, no problem. You can continue within this screen, and I feel like all of us, we are able to see, so no worries.
Okay, sorry for that. We have tried it, but yeah, technology is always a great challenge. So, good morning, everyone. I'm really happy that you are here, and we can share ideas and also knowledge regarding urban regeneration, which topic is quite important for us in NiCE project as well, and also across Europe, as it has been pointed by Ahmad. So in my presentation, I will emphasize the urban perspective. So before we start, I think it's time for my first pool question. So please, Susanna, share it. And I'm really interested in your ideas regarding the most important function of cities. And yeah, may I ask you to choose up to two answers, so make a prioritization.
Okay, so dear participants, you can see on your screen again the poll. So you can choose your answers and then please press the submit button. We will wait a few seconds again for all of the votings, because some people need a little bit more time for the thinking, which is great.
Mm.
Okay, a few more seconds and the results will be shared on the screen again. Someone is still typing. Okay, I feel like we can share the results.
Yeah.
Okay, so you
okay.
can.
Thanks, Susanna. So yeah, actually, I was interested that how would you prioritize these options, because all of them are of course interrelated with urban centers. But yeah, I can see that one of the main priorities, and yeah, I'm quite happy as a university lecturer that access to housing, education, and healthcare is perhaps one of the most important priority related to well-being. So yeah, really nice job, and I believe we can move further with my presentation. Thank you so much, Susanna. Okay. Unfortunately,
yeah, we can see the presentation. You just have to switch. Okay, it's good.
Yeah, really. Okay, now it's working. Okay, so when we are thinking about urban regeneration from a wider perspective, it's really important to recall that actually it contributes to the sustainable spatial development. And you may be surprised a little bit that this sustainable spatial development idea actually has been set up even in 1999 when actually the European Spatial Development Perspective has been accepted by the ministers responsible for spatial or territorial planning. And according to their understanding, the sustainable spatial development must meet three criteria like economic and social cohesion, conservation and management of natural resources and the cultural heritage, and the balanced competitiveness of the European territory. So when we are thinking about urban regeneration, it is really important, and it has already highlighted by Ahmad, that it can actually provide multiple benefits in terms of economic concerns and also social concerns, like engaging the local inhabitants for participation, enhancing the cultural patterns. And also the environmental concerns are really important, as we have global challenges in terms of biodiversity, resources, and the quality of life. Okay, and also when we are thinking about the urban regeneration, it's really important that it's linked to the circular economy, and the circular economy is a really important policy of the European Union nowadays. But also we have to take in mind that actually in the during the 1966, actually, the first ideas regarding the circular economy and the need for a paradigm change regarding our economy actually has been concluded. The first work we have to actually refer is related to building, and actually it caught your attention that we would expect unlimited growth in a closed system. It's not a good way. He used a metaphor for the Earth like a spaceship. So it's definitely a closed system, and we have to actually reconfigure our economy and processes within this closed system. And how we could do this actually were answered by Pierce and Turner. They use the term circular economy to describe the closed system of economy and environmental interactions, where the efficient and sustainable use of resources by reducing, reusing, and recycling materials is really, really important. In the NiCE project, actually, we are following the circular economy principles, and we are trying to engaging local inhabitants, NGOs, and political stakeholders for mainstreaming circular lifestyles principles. A really important notion of our project is that circular economic citizenship is more than recycling, is far more than recycling, and you will see from the collected good examples that how actually these ideas can take place. Okay. So as already pointed out by Zuzana, we aim the transformation of center places in cities that make it easy for their inhabitants to implement sustainable lifestyles, and at the same time reanimate centers in a more circular way. We are trying to close the loop, as it has been pointed out by Ahmad, that it's one of the main principles of the circular economy. So we try to focus on the shortest loop, like refusing, reducing, and reusing items, and also buildings and materials. But of course, we have to consider the medium, long loops, and long loops, of course, because they are a viable option for value retention in the circular economy. And when we are thinking about urban centers and cities, it's really important that what's the purpose of our design, urban regeneration? And you may know Le Corbusier, a really important and famous French architect, who has called your attention on functionality. Different buildings must provide functionality, utility for the users and inhabitants. And surprisingly, this concept has been capitalized by the Munich social geographer school, and actually they have developed the social geographical functions that these functions must be provided by cities. Okay, so when we are thinking about the urban fabric and also flows of ideas, services, and people within the cities, it's really important to consider that we have a great variety of options, how actually the needs of local inhabitants and the well-being of the inhabitants can be addressed through working possibilities, living spaces, various services, education, training and culture, as well as transport and communication. And also urban regeneration can be a good base for leisure time activities planning, and also planning places for the local community. And actually with sharing economic principles or advanced planning with multifunctional places, actually one building or one place can serve multiple functions, and this is also part of the circular economy planning principles, that perhaps one place can be utilized for various purposes.
Sorry, Mariann,
So-
could you please also move the slides because we are still seeing only the pyramid, and I feel like you are at the next slide somewhere else. Yeah, okay, perfect. Now we
Yeah.
can see. Okay, good.
Okay. So in the NiCE project, actually, we are in an international collaboration, and we have 8 pilot settlements which are implementing different pilot actions for mainstreaming circular lifestyles. During the first year, we have collected a wide range of circular services offered by our cities, and actually we paid attention also to the place matters. So if these circular services are provided by specific or special buildings and places. Okay, so in my second half of my presentation, we will collect some good examples from the NiCE partner cities. The first group, and I hope that my presentation moved, is the temporary uses on previously developed land.
Mariann,
Okay,
sorry,
so
it didn't move.
No, it's
Okay.
still at the pilots.
Okay,
Now
so
No.
and how about if can you see the Fab Lab slide?
Yes, the Fab Lab slide.
Okay, so I will stay in that mode, and it will work. Okay, thank you so much. So the first case is a story of a temporary use in Würzburg, Germany, and it's a story about a Fab Lab, so a multifunctional workshop and meeting place for enthusiastic people who would like to exchange ideas and also repair things together. So it was a project of the National Association, and they really emphasize this club feeling for making things together and repairing. And you may be surprised that actually this Fab Lab temporarily took place at a really dominant and important building in Würzburg called Frankhalle. It was a former livestock auction hall. And the Fab Lab operated until May 2025 in this Frankhalle as a temporary function. And this year, the City Council approved a renovation of this building. And we believe that actually the Fab Lab as a temporary function contributed to that people in the settlement had Frankhalle in their mind, and the Fab Lab has found a new place for operation, and this Frankhalle will be converted into an organic specialty store, so still remaining with circular economy principles for the local production. The second case is from Czechia, from Jihlava. Silo Jihlava is an organization and an emerging community space which is open to everyone. And their main aim is to develop culture, support creativity, sharing, and collaboration, a reuse space, so a multifunctional place. And actually, they are implementing different projects, events, and then, yeah, it's a really important starting point for an urban regeneration. The second group actually covers good examples with where underused or less developed sites were developed to a vibrant circular hotspots for the circular economy. The first one is from Graz. It's called Spectral Graz, and it actually provides a really great example for a multifunctional place where the circular economy principles like sharing places and community exchanges took place. So you may be wondering that, okay, this Spectral Graz provides multiple functions for the inhabitants, from reuse centers to kitchen, to open office, and yeah, providing access to a thematic workshop as well. From Bologna, one of the most important examples could be Borgo Ecologico, which was a great industrial district renovated and ecologically reconverted. And now it's a really important place for circular economy and e-waste management, but also for education and a hotspot for collaboration with international projects. And the third one within this range comes from Budapest, capital of Hungary, which is actually a placemaking initiative for urban regeneration, and it represents a really alive and important case for urban regeneration in the 11th district where our university is operating. And actually, this good example called the attention that this placemaking initiative for this Bartók Béla Boulevard Cultural Center helped a lot of the renovation and reuse of many former vacant or under used buildings. And finally, I would like to highlight that in our NiCE project, we have 4 pilot actions. So that's why it's really important to follow us on social media and also reading our newsletters, since 4 of our pilots actually are capitalizing urban regeneration principles. The first one is from Graz. Colleagues developed the House of Future, like a multifunctional place for circular economy and sustainability. The second one in Košice in Slovakia is a reuse center. The third one is from Slovenia in Ptuj, a pop-up store for circular products. And the fourth one from Czech Dolny, Poland, a multi-centrum of zero waste, where different workshops for various stakeholders took place, and also the renovation of the building happened in the framework of the NiCE project. Of course, you can actually visit these places if you are able to get there. Okay, some closing remarks. When we are thinking about urban revitalization projects, it's really important to have in mind the importance of place-based strategies. So we have to understand the local circumstances, needs, and select right tools for urban regeneration projects. Projects may differ in size, time framework. Some of them could be temporary, some of them could be on a long-term basis, but urban regeneration projects with the activation of inhabitants can be a really good means for care for nature, community, and forming values. Sometimes we can think about these small scale or not that big scale project that, okay, what are their effects for circular transition? but I must call your attention that they all count. So they contributing to higher level circular economy measures and aims like the Zero Atlantic principles or reuse of materials, and these phenomena can be understood on macroeconomic levels, on European level, for instance, and they provide various benefits like infrastructure development, social cohesion, environmental sustainability, and heritage preservation. So that was my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. I'm open to questions and comments, but before that, we could move to the second poll question.
Thank you, Mariann. Thank you for those insights. It was very interesting. Now it is time for the questions. So if there is anyone who would like to ask some question, feel free. Maybe if you are not comfortable with
Sorry,
aloud.
I'm trying to launch the poll question.
Okay, try.
But it says failed to launch poll error. So I'm very sorry. Can you try, Susie, or you can't see the polls?
I can't see it, unfortunately.
Yes. Well.
Okay, never mind.
There it goes. There it goes.
Perfect. Okay. So now we
Is
can
the right one,
finally...
Mariann?
Yeah, it's the question number 2, so it's the right one, I feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties.
No worries.
Okay, so we can see the second question from Mariann to our participants. So please choose your answer, just the one, and then do not forget to submit. So again, we will wait a few seconds for the results. And then Sashi will try to share the results. Hopefully we will be able to see them. A little bit more of thinking. Okay, we can see the results.
Okay, thank you so much. It's again our priorities, but I believe that all the messages gathered are right. So all these answers are quite significant. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So now back to the questions. I can't see any of them in the chat. I will check the Slido application as well. Maybe someone was sharing the question via the Slido, but no question. Everything was clear. So perfect presentations from your side, both, because there are like no written questions. Maybe one more encouragement, someone who would like to share the question in the spoken form. Few more seconds for thinking. If not, then really let me thank you, both of you, for very interesting presentations full of very useful insights, I would say. And I feel like we should really do not underestimate the role of the cities in the circular economy. So just for the participants, we will definitely share all of the important information, links, maybe also the video on the YouTube with you. So you will be able to come back to these presentations and to this webinar. And on behalf of the NiCE team, thank you for attending. And we will see each other hopefully soon on the other events. So thank you again, and see you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.